Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Building Three Pillars. I'm your host, John Waters. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. And I want to apologize very quickly. Last week was a pretty big week, even in my own personal life. Last week was the Marine Corps birthday. Happy belated birthday to those Marines out there. And it was also Veterans Day. And obviously, this is out here for America, that statement. But, anyways, just want to make sure I gave that a shout out. I know I didn't do it last week, and that was all on me. All right, so I want to go ahead and get right into today's topic. Got a lot to cover and a little bit of time to get it done. However, we're not going to rush through it. So, as I mentioned before, hope you guys had a great weekend. The weather out here has been interesting. I know last weekend it was mid summertime out here, and then this past weekend we got a slap of reality, and the temperature started getting a little bit lower. But that's to be expected with winter rolling around the corner. So, I hope you guys are getting ready for that wherever you are. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing going. Today's topic is going to be no wasted steps. And as usual, I like to start these things off with a quote. And today's quote is going to come from Denzel Washington, one of my favorite actors. And he says, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting more done. Don't confuse movement with progress, which leads us into today's question. Are you being productive or are you just keeping busy? There is a difference. So the reason this came into my mind is because this past week I got overwhelmed. That was part of the reason why I went ahead and played you guys a recording from an interview I did with Dylan, not just to get exposure for that and let you guys know that there are other things happening besides me talking, but because I was quite overwhelmed. There was a lot happening. If you listen to me, you know that I'm doing quite a few things, school, business, and just pretty much trying to manage, all of these things all at once. And it's not anything that you yourself may not be doing either. And I'm sure you probably can relate to some of the things I'm going to talk about today. All right. So, yeah, making sure that we're not just doing things for the sake of doing things. So, I know if you guys go to the gym, you've seen this quite often. You see people come to the gym and it seems that they're always doing the same thing, but yet they're not making any progress. I believe I told the story once before, quite a while ago, about a time that I worked at LA Fitness. And I remember there were people that would come in there, and I was there for a couple of years. And I kid you not, they never looked like they changed. And I never knocked them because I realized that, exercise has more than just the benefit of changing our physiques. But if that was their goal, I don't think that they were moving in that direction. It was more like social hour, which I know is important, especially now. I wouldn't be surprised if those same people are there taking full advantage of the opportunity to be engaged while we have that here in America. I'm not really sure what your situation is where you are listening, but here we still have some freedoms and we're still able to get out and, mingle. There's no telling how long that's going to last, but that's not my area of expertise. So I'm not going to go into that. But I really just want to make sure that we're honing in on the idea that if there's no agenda, there's no direction. And so not even just looking at the gym and working out as our reference point, but even in life in general, I understand that everyone has their own way of going about doing things, but if you have an idea in your mind and there's something you want to get accomplished, I imagine you have some milestones or some steps that you have in place to help you reach those goals. And if not, I hope that you do. Um, when you don't know exactly what it is you need to do to get there, how do you know when you're getting closer? What do you use to get feedback from? We need, well, I shouldn't say we, but I know that I personally need to have something in front of me telling me like, hey, you're going the right direction. I can't just always rely on feelings to let me know that I'm in the right area. So again, as I mentioned, for me personally, I've been juggling, work, school, and business. And it got overwhelming because I was in a headspace where I was like, well, all these things need to be done now. And one of the things that's been catching up to me is the lack of sleeping. And then just the overall lack of balance and realizing that I'm not really putting all my attention in the right places. So I wonder how many of you can relate to that. How many of you have become so zoned in on what your goal is that you're forsaking every other aspect of your life and not really making time for the things and people that you care about? That's a fatal trap to fall into. I can't make time for anything else because I'm so focused on this one particular area and it definitely needs all of my attention. Now realizing that, while you're so focused in this one direction, you're missing out on all the other things. And in business, I would talk about opportunity cost. Well, I can't think of any other area in life where this definitely applies. when you're trying to do something that you feel is going to move the ball forward for yourself and others, but you're forgetting to take those other people with you, along the way. And again, going back to our gym, I want to talk about how every rep counts. And so I would hope that if you're going to the gym and you're working out, you're moving in a direction that allows you to become stronger or more flexible or better able to perform at whatever your particular sport or craft is. If not, what is the purpose of you being there? So the same thing can be said in any other aspect, I would imagine. I mean, if you're looking to climb the ladder at work, or if you're looking to fulfill a dream or realize an opportunity, if you're not making progress and advancing in that direction, what is the purpose? So if I can encourage you guys to do anything after you get done listening to this recording or watching this video is to, really refocus in on what it is you're doing and why you're doing it. Time is fleeting and it's passing us every day, every second, every minute, every hour. If this what you're doing isn't moving you closer to where you want to go, why are you doing it? Now, I understand that, rest is a definite part of the process. I understand that making time for others is a definite part of the process. But if your agenda is full of rest and lacking in the area of actual work, why are you doing that? And not even just focusing on that aspect of it, but if your agenda is full of activities, just for the sake of being involved in activities that don't really lead you in the direction you want to go, again, I have to ask you, why are you doing it? You know, that's a dangerous position to be in. So again, using myself as a reference point, I myself find my time being split and divided into multiple areas. I'm always looking over here, I'm looking over there. And what else to be expected when you're trying to build a business? It is really a one man thing right now. And so having to wear multiple hats causes my focus to have to shift rapidly and multiple times throughout the day and course of a week. And, even by the time this year is over, I will have looked at multiple opportunities and tried my hand at all of them. But realizing that, just because it looks good doesn't mean it's good for you. I know that there are a lot of ways that people have said that and rephrased it, but that's because it stands and holds true. And as I say these things to you, I realize that every man and every woman has to decide for themselves what production looks like. You know, I'm not suggesting that you need to be out here hustling every day, as I mentioned in other areas and other podcasts. I know that the grind should not be continual in terms of you having to constantly be doing something, but those rest breaks should be planned. Otherwise, you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. That extra activity you're considering adding to your plate, if it's not really going to help you get where you want to go, you really should, sit back and, uh, you know, evaluate that idea and decision before you actually make it a part of your agenda because it may not be necessary. I mean, it's kind of like riding a bike with training wheels. The training wheels aren't even doing anything for you anymore, but you still have them on there. Like it may be time to kick those bad boys off. It may be giving you some kind of psychological comfort, but it's not really doing anything for you. Granted, it may not be hurting you besides hindering your confidence. And I use this reference point because I was that kid. A crazy story. I did not stop riding my bike with training wheels. I think until it was like the third or fourth grade. Granted, the training wheels weren't doing anything for me, but I did not take them off. I had no idea why I was stuck in my head about the idea of taking these things off, but that terrified me. But I feel like there's a lot of us who can, look at my example and probably relate to that. You're walking through life with the training wheels on. You're being scared to take that next step and leap into the unknown because you're afraid of what could happen. And along the way, you're creating all this extra mess and all these extra activities to give you an excuse to not do that next thing, you know. But again, if what you're doing isn't helping you progress, you may need to evaluate your purpose and decide what needs to be done and what needs to be, put to the side. All right. And the last big thing I would like to say is that time well spent is not wasted time. All right. So I know that I just got done giving this long spiel about, making sure that we're not doing unnecessary things. But again, I want to harp on the idea that rest is necessary. Making time for others is necessary. Making time to refocus and evaluate your current position to make a better decision and get yourself in that next, mindset and state of mind is important. So again, every person has to decide for themselves, why am I doing this and is it really working? And is it really worth the effort? And that's going to be something that only you personally can decide. All right. And as my last thought, I would just like to say that there's nothing wrong with working hard and wanting more. It's admirable to have a vision and work towards its realization. But when the vision isn't clear and the direction you're headed in has multiple pieces and places to reach, it can be hard to decide what order to get things done. It may be necessary to break this idea down into manageable steps instead of trying to do it all at once. Even if all of the items on your agenda will fit into the picture perfectly, doing too much all at once can knock the vision out of focus. The process is what allows us to get it all done in its due time. Enjoy it and pace yourself. All right. And I wish I could say that today's topic was, straight from the dome, something that came from me, like a message from above, but it wasn't. It really took me reaching out to my dad, who I don't talk about very often, but he dropped some knowledge on me and pretty much helped me come to the idea for this particular topic for today. So again, make time for what matters, but make sure that those things aren't taking you off track, and enjoy the process. Today's episode was pretty sweet. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you would like to follow me in person on Facebook, please do so. My name is John Waters, and the tagline is Unlock Your Greatness. If you're on Instagram and you want to follow me there, the name is _3P Fitness. And if you want to follow the business page on Facebook, it is 3 Pillars Fitness LLC. I know this is a long outro, but the name on Instagram is just 3 Pillars. All right, so I hope you guys have a great week. I hope this was valuable for you, and I just really hope you got something out of it. And if nothing else, just reevaluate what you're doing. Times are about to get interesting for all of us. So now more than ever, I feel like we don't want to waste our time. All right, so have a great day. Keep pushing. Greatness awaits.